Hi YouTube, Hedgies here, back with another video. So today's going to be a requested video, so half of it's going to be a requested video about hedgehogs and hedgehog care, a little bit about pebbles, and then the other half is going to be more like a rant, something that I think is important, an important topic that I'm just going to discuss with you guys. So let's start off with Pebbles. So Pebbles is our one year and 3 month old hedgehog. I got her a couple weeks after I moved to Boston, and I just fell in love with her. And I think hedgehogs are amazing creatures. They are so cute, but I'm going to tell you a little bit about them and why I think that they're not for everybody, and especially not for children. And I tell you guys, animals are not for children all the time, but I think this is important to know for parents who have kids that are like, I want a hedgehog, which is not very common. I don't think a lot of kids have hedgehogs for the reasons that I'm going to talk about. So, in case you didn't know this, hedgehogs are banned in a lot of states. You cannot own a hedgehog. It is illegal because they carry a lot of diseases. They carry salmonella in their feces. They also have carry something called foot and mouth disease. They carry a lot of stuff, and the reason that they're not for kids is for a couple reasons. One is that they have quills and they are very sharp. Kids don't always know how to handle a hedgehog, which makes it very difficult, which can result in injury of your child or injury of the hedgehog. Either way, it'd be very unfortunate, so hedgehogs are not for kids. Also, we all know how kids just love to wash their hands. No, they don't. And we're all guilty of this, when we eat a delicious bag of chips or French fries, whatever, and you want to suck your fingers and you haven't washed your hands after touching a hedgehog. Not a good idea. But this is something to think about if your child is asking for a hedgehog. This is very important to know. You need to do your research on all the diseases that they carry and all of the things that they come with. And it's really part of the package. If you don't want anything to do with that, you don't want to take the risk of anything, then I wouldn't say a hedgehog is for you. They can also transfer diseases to other animals that you have in your household. So please be cautious of this and keep them in their own enclosure away from all other animals, and have their playtime separate, and make sure you disinfect the area after. You may think that your hedgehog is clean, but their poops get under their nails. Even after you clip them, the poops stay at the bottom of their feet, they stick to the quills, all kinds of stuff that you really can't avoid. So this is really something to think about if you really want a hedgehog. Make sure you do the research on all of these things, cover all of these topics. If you still think a hedgehog is right for you, then by all means. As far as hedgehog care goes, I will say that she is one of our easier animals. Her tank gets cleaned out every week and a half or so. You can go a little bit longer with them. She does poop, but you can litter train them. They are litter trainable. Her water gets changed every 2 days, just like everybody else here. Sometimes every day or every other day, whatever it is. But I'm really good about changing everyone's water, so hers gets changed as well. They require hedgehog pellets. I get mine from a bag, and you can order them on Amazon. It's called the Premium Hedgehog Food or Hedgehog Diet, one or the other. And it's got a really ugly, scary looking hedgehog on the package. It's just like a nightmare. I don't know why they put that there, but anyway. So, so that's the food that I give Pebbles, and it lasts a long time. So let me get her container and I'll show you guys. So this is her container. It's a cereal container that I got at Marshall's, and it was filled up to the top, and this was over the period of half a year, so maybe a little bit more. And it stays fresh as long as you keep it in proper enclosured containers. You should be good to go, and she still's got a way to go. And she gets unlimited amount of pellets, and they look like, let me take one out. It's like a little flower looking thing. Oops. So it looks like that. And it's got all of the necessities that they need for their diet. It has proteins. So you can also feed your hedgehog mealworms. I bought mealworms for Pebbles. She's just not very interested in them, so I stopped buying them. But most hedgehogs I've heard do like the mealworms that you can purchase at any pet store, or you can order them online, and they're dead and dried. If they don't like those, you can also scramble an egg. No seasonings or anything, just a regular egg. You can also boil the egg and cut it up into pieces and give that to them. Don't give them a whole egg, maybe like half or so. And they will go through it pretty quick. I give Pebbles pieces of chicken every now and then. I don't give it to her often because all of the necessities, poultry is also included in the pellets for her, so I don't feed chicken very often, but I do a couple times a month. So yes, as I said, her tank gets cleaned out about every week and a half. I scrub down her wheel, and she's got a couple toys in there. I wipe those down. She has a like a pine tunnel that you can purchase in the reptile section. She also has a fish house. So she really, hedgehogs do like space. They do like to explore their enclosure when you first put them in there. Once they get into the routine, though, they know what they're doing. Pebbles usually wakes up around 10:30 at night. She eats some pellets, drinks a lot of water. She will drink for like 5 minutes straight, and then she will run for the entire night. That is her routine, and usually before she goes to bed, she gets another drink, and she eats some pellets. So that's the routine that my hedgehog has. I'm sure others are different. As far as expenses go, she has oatmeal shampoo that is going to last like forever, and that's shared with the guinea pigs as well, to help keep their skin moisturized. She shares the bag balm with everybody, which is like an ointment to help with dry feet and dry ears during the winter, or if they're just dry in general. Another expense to think about is bedding. I have Pebbles on disposable Carefresh bedding, which can get very, very pricey. Carefresh bedding, a bag of it costs about $25 where I am, sometimes a little bit cheaper if they're having a sale. The cheapest I've seen is $21, not that much cheaper. But it can cost anywhere from $25 to $30 depending on where you are, so it's definitely something to think about. Some people have their hedgehogs on fleece, and the reason I don't have Pebbles on fleece is because hedgehogs like to dig and burrow, and I didn't want to take that away from her because she does really enjoy burrowing. So I kept her on bedding. She's the only one of my pets on bedding because it costs less to keep her on bedding than to have everybody on bedding. Let's see, something else. So, when you first buy your hedgehog, unless you're like me and you like to decorate the tank and stuff, I would say the expenses are fairly low, but don't let that fool you, especially if you have little children. Hedgehogs can be very dangerous, even though they're so small and cute. They can be dangerous for children and for adults who don't know what they're doing. So definitely something to think about. Please do your research on hedgehogs. Again, they carry diseases. They carry a lot of stuff, and you don't want that mixing in with anyone else. So that's pretty much it for hedgehogs. They're fairly easy to maintain. just fill up their pellet bowl every now and then if you want to scramble an egg or something. Fresh water, a wheel is a necessity. They love to run. Oh, one more thing I didn't discuss with you guys. Hedgehogs are prone to get a illness that is known as wobbly hedgehog syndrome, and it's not, it's common, but it doesn't mean that every hedgehog is going to get it. Basically, what happens is their body slowly becomes paralyzed. It usually starts from the back legs, and you'll notice that they're dragging their back legs. They're starting to slowly get paralyzed. And this is something to think about, because if your hedgehog does happen to, God forbid this happens, will you have enough time to hand feed them, make things easier for them? They're not going to be able to run. They're not going to be able to do anything once the illness has taken over their body. And this is really, I'm telling you guys this because it is something to think about. It's sad. It's definitely very, very sad. And it's also something you need to have time for. You need to have time to feed them, give them water, hand do all of these things that I'm talking about. Otherwise, they will die, obviously. They're going to starve to death if you don't. So if your hedgehog is experiencing any of these symptoms that I'm talking about, please do the research on it. If you cannot care for them, if you don't have the time to care for them, please find a home for them that they will be cared for. This is important because it would be even sadder if you just let it continue and just let them die, because they can live not very comfortably, but they can live if you do take the precautions needed and the procedures needed to keep them alive. So please do the research on wobbly hedgehog syndrome. That's very important to know for any hedgehog owner, whether your hedgehog is going to get it or not. Hopefully not, but you will want to be informed on it. Okay, so that's all for hedgehogs. Now I'm going to start off with the rant, and it's mostly going to be about kids. So let's see, where do I start? I want to speak about a side note for parents, and I don't want anybody to get offended by this or, think that I know-it-all or anything of that nature. I want to say a note to parents. Dear parents, just because you get to your child everything that they want, animals included, does not make you a good parent. It doesn't make you a better parent, and it does not make you the cool parent. Kids need to be disciplined when it comes to animals, because it's a life that whether you want to see it that way or not, that's what it is. You're bringing a life into your home, and it's important that you give them the best life that you can, not to teach your kids manners or respect or whatever it is, responsibility over something. This is a live animal, and you're putting his or her life on the line to train your child. That's irresponsible, in my opinion. It's so irresponsible. That makes you an irresponsible parent. And for those of you that don't know this, irresponsible parenting is real. When it comes to animals, kids are going to ask you, Mom, I want a guinea pig. Are you, as the mom and dad, going to sit down and do the research? This is the most common mistake that people make. Their kid wants a guinea pig, so they go to the pet store and they let the stupid, ignorant people that work at the pet store talk them into all of these things that are wrong. Guinea pigs need to be in pairs or more the majority of the time, unless there is some kind of condition that they have that requires them to live solo or whatever it is. They require to be with a friend. They like to be with a friend. It's important for their health. It's proven that guinea pigs who have a friend tend to live longer, happier lives, aside from illnesses that they hopefully won't get. Anyway, so if your child says, Mommy, I want a guinea pig, that doesn't mean that you need to go to PetSmart talk to the guy, be like, oh yeah, so my kid wants a guinea pig. We don't have that much space. And they're going to talk you into the smallest cage. And you're going to be thinking, I'm saving money because all those other cages are $200. I'm spending $150. There's a lot cheaper alternatives. Parents, if your kid wants a pet, that needs to be a family pet, not your kid's pet. Pets should not be in your child's room unsupervised they could be feeding them things that they shouldn't, or whatever's going on in the room that you don't know about. Family pets should be kept in a family setting. For example, a living room. Perfect place for a family pet. That way the adults can monitor what is happening at all times, etc., etc. Next thing you need to know, parents, before you think about getting your child any kind of pet, consider this. If you know that your child loses interest early on, maybe this is not the best idea. Consider this. Most children will ask for something. I'll throw an example out there, an Xbox. Your kid's going to want an Xbox, and an Xbox is a bad idea because people like Xbox. I'm just going to use an animal because they tend to be the ones that kids lose interest in quicker. So, say for example, your kid wants a guinea pig. I promise you, parents, 9 out of 10 times, those kids that ask for the guinea pig and you say no, they will cry over it a little bit. In a few weeks, trust me, they will be on to something else. They will say, I want an Xbox now. You'd be the cool mom then if you got the Xbox over the pet, because the pets are the number one thing kids lose interest in for multiple reasons. Number one reason being, parents, you buy the smallest, crappiest cage, the crappy pellets, you don't know what you're doing, and you have your kid as the primary caretaker for this pet when kids don't have any money. That's a huge issue right there. The people that say that they never spent, that guinea pigs, hedgehogs, chinchillas, rabbits, etc. are not hard work are the people that are doing something wrong. They're also the people that are doing something wrong when they say these animals are cheap to maintain. That means the animals probably have never been to the vet. You probably got a small crappy cage from the pet store. You got the pellets that were on sale for $8 and change. And you're feeding unlimited pellets, no veggies or whatever, depending on what kind of animal it is. And those are the people that are most of the time doing something wrong. Please do the research. I'm saying this because I come on YouTube and I want to help you guys. I want to share the knowledge that I have learned with you guys. I'm not saying to bring anyone down. I'm not saying to point fingers or any of that. If you know that you're doing something wrong, please correct it. Simple as that. And if you don't have the money to correct it, please rehome your animal. And I know that's so terrible and probably heartless even to say, but think about the conditions that your animal is living in. Is it suitable? If it's average, that's probably not okay. And do best by them. Don't think about you for a minute. Do what's best for them. I'll give an example of something. When it comes to pet store cages, this is what happens. So, in case you guys have never been to a PetSmart or Petco, they keep their guinea pigs in about, maybe I've seen as most as 6 in a small tank, like a fish tank. And literally all they can do is run back and forth because, and it's not even that much room to run back and forth. It's literally just, I don't know. Anyway, when I got home with Duchess and Flower, we had to put them in another tank basically the same size that they came in while we went out and got their cage, while we got the CNC grids. They were in it for less than 2 hours. Well, it beats living in it for, however many weeks they had been living at Petco or wherever. And the difference, when I had them in the tank, I put the house and I put their food bowl and whatever they needed and their hay. And they just went inside the house. And that's what most pets will do. You, as the parents and the children, will probably be thinking, oh, he's just shy, it's just so cute, they just want to hide in their little house. No, that's not what's going on. What's going on is that you have a pet store cage that's too small for them to run around in. You have an igloo house, a water bottle, and a food dish that is full of pellets that is way too much for their diet. That is what happens. Those 4 things are usually in the cage. Unfortunately, about 95% of people have their guinea pigs in that kind of lifestyle, or their rabbits, etc., in a pet store cage. I'm going to tell you from experience, when I put them in the tank, they ran inside the house, just like you would see in any pictures on Craigslist or whatever of people selling their guinea pigs. They'll be inside the house most of the time because they're bored. They don't have anything to do. That is why. That they just want to stay in the house. There's nothing to do. There's not enough room. Especially if you have multiple pigs in a pet store cage. A pet store cage is not even suitable for one. And the difference, when I finished building their CNC cage, which ended up being a 2 grid by 8 grid cage, the difference was like amazing. It was so heartfelt, and I felt like a proud mom. I'm not a mother, but I've heard about this feeling that mothers get once they give birth and they hold their kid for the first time and they look into those eyes and they're like, oh my God, this is what my life's work is right here. That is how I felt. I know that's like maybe strange for some people to think, but it's not to me because I'm an animal lover. And when I saw the joy that they were feeling, I put them in this huge enclosure. They were popcorning, they were running, they were free, they were just so happy. And it was just, it made me happy. I was crying, like I was just so happy that they were happy. And they were living a better life. So, this is something to consider. I promise you, the people who make the excuses, oh, I had a baby and I can't care for my guinea pig anymore, or my child got bored, those are the most common excuses. Those aren't reasons. Those are excuses that people make to give away their pets. I don't care. I'm moving. I'm going to college. Whatever the case is, it's an excuse. It's not... You're not doing it to better their life. You're doing it and you're saying these things because you feel bad that you didn't think about this the day that you adopted your pet. These are things to think about. Anyway, and those are also the people that have the stupid setups with nothing to do. But I promise you, having a bigger enclosure and having a healthy pet will make you happy and your pet happy. They won't be bored. There's going to be so much to do in a large cage. There's going to be plenty of room to run. And there's just, there's going to be too much to do. And the reason that most pets get rehomed is because people get bored or think they are boring. They're not boring. You're the one that's boring because you didn't provide them with enough. And what is enough? Let's discuss what's enough. Enough, there's never enough. And I feel that way, and I hope that, if you have the right enclosure for your piggies or your chins or your hedgies or your rabbits, that you will always want more for them. You will always want to buy new fleece items because it's exciting. It's exciting to be able to decorate their cage and watch them chew and popcorn and do all kinds of crazy things. It's fun. It really is truly a treat to watch. So I hope that you guys will get something from this video, and I hope that no one is offended, especially moms and dads. I hope that no one is offended by what I said. I hope that you will take it into consideration and really think about the things that I said in this video, and I hope that you can take something with you from it, and I hope that I could help an animal out there get a bigger home. And I'm not just talk. I mean, do the research and you will see that everything that I say on this channel is true. I don't pull things out of my butt, I promise you. So thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe, comment. If there's a video you want to see, please feel free to comment below, and I will see you all next week. It's going to be more of an informational video as well for guinea pigs. The next guinea pig cage tour will be before Halloween. Hedgehog cage tour, Halloween, and the chinchilla cage tour will probably be during Halloween. So everybody's going to have a Halloween cage tour, and I will see you all next week. Bye!